Mr. TJ Dillashaw.
My dude.
What's up, brother?
Hanging out.
He came out with some big news. And for those of you who don't know, he announced he retired. If you live on Mars, TJ Dillashaw retired.
You know, it was a possibility. Me and the wife had talks like, I don't know how many are left. It could be my last one, might not be. You know, win or lose.
You got pushback from media and fans, and it's like, oh, you guys have no clue with what professional athletes deal with. Like the injuries, of course, TJ thought he could win, even if his shoulders pop out of camp. It's like, when I saw people were upset, like TJ owes a refund, I'm like, you guys are idiots. Like, you know how many fighters and athletes and NFL players and NBA players you've watched that did pull it off and they had horrible injuries?
Yeah.
It's like that's what makes you different than them.
You got to have that mindset. I mean, you got to be a fucking straight sicko to get in there and do what we do.
Correct.
And if you don't, then you're not making it to the top.
And how bad was the shoulder going to camp?
Man,
during camp.
So I hurt my shoulder like end of April, beginning of May. As soon as Aljo called me out, I knew the fight. I was getting ready. I knew my shoulder was a little bit messed up because I had some weakness in it. I thought it was a pinched nerve. I got an MRI done like in January because I thought it was something in my neck I could get fixed real quick. But come to find out, I had a torn supraspinatus and infraspinatus in my shoulder. It was just giving me weakness. I figured this out when I was doing rehab on my knee. I was trying to lift weights upper body.
Yeah.
But it was like, whatever. I've dealt with shoulder injuries since 2017 and won world titles with it, whatever.
You're no stranger to the shoulder.
Yeah, just forget about it, bury it down deep, never talk about it, get a world title back, I'd say end of April, I was just hitting mitts. Went to go hit a big left hook on the bag, and I tweaked my shoulder, and it was like bad. Like I couldn't hit mitts with it, couldn't really move it. It got better. I went down and got stem cells in Panama. The pain started to go away. I couldn't really fully use it. I didn't have external rotation. I couldn't hold my arm up like this. It would be like outwards, right?
It's compromised. I mean, far out from the fight.
But only striking.
Yeah.
It was only messing with my striking. Wasn't messing with my grappling. And Aljo is the one I was going to fight. So it was like best case scenario. I can grapple like a motherfucker. I just couldn't strike to my fullest. But I was fighting Aljamain Sterling. He's not dangerous on his feet. If I was fighting a guy like Peter Yan, I would maybe second guess it, right? So it was something I was going into. And then, I don't know, it's 5 weeks, 6 weeks before the fight, I got super bad MRSA. Still same thing with the shoulder. The pain went away from stem cells, but it was only affecting my striking. So I was, maybe right hand combos and kicks, and actually was sparring fucking great.
And when you had MRSA, that's a form of staph, right?
Yeah.
So it's horrible staph. I assume you were on antibiotics.
I was on like 4 different antibiotics,
which
trying
are terrible for
get rid of it.
Achilles heel for cardio. It's awful.
Cardio and just muscle development, everything. And so I just I broke my body down that way, and I was grappling, doing jiu-jitsu, and I dislocated my shoulder for the first time like 5 or 6 weeks out. And it popped back in. It was only out for a couple of seconds, and it popped back in. And so this guy, it'll be all right. Strengthen it up, it'll be fine. But then it just kind of got worse and worse as the fight got closer. Started cutting weight, and I feel like the body just kind of like breaking down and just got loose to where it actually popped out twice while I was in Abu Dhabi getting ready for the fight.
Jesus,
and that's when you're training easy. You're just cutting weight, like going through the motions. And I was doing some grappling things with Juan, and I was in a head and arm choke, and he went to go bump me off. And I couldn't even post my arm out, just like dislocated out the back, So, yeah, man, it was bad. It was bad. But
you're not going to turn out a title shot.
I'm 36 years old.
Yep.
I go and get surgery. I'm out for a year, and it's like, I know my shoulder's bad, and now I'm going through meeting this doctor, and he's telling me, like, what if I retired and didn't give myself that shot? And the doctor's telling me the same thing. He's like, man, I don't know if this is ever going to be the same.
Yep.
And then I retire and didn't get my shot.
Yeah.
To where at least, like, I go out there, be a fucking hero, dislocate my shoulder, get the knockout, and,
who knows?
Top of the world.
Yeah, especially anything can happen, especially with your skill set. I co-sign that all day.
Appreciate it.
Any day of the week.
Hell yeah.
Who says otherwise just doesn't know sports at the highest level.
I mean, I beat Sandhagen, which is a lot more dangerous for a fighter on one leg.
One leg.
Completely blew my knee out and beat him on one leg. So
Correct.
Also in the back of my mind, it's like, you know what? This is something I just got to deal with. I beat Garbrandt twice with dislocated shoulders. I was dislocating my shoulders in that fight camp as well, too. Maybe not as bad, but same issue. Yeah.
So you get done with the fight. You're back in the locker room. I'm sure, you're really upset. Because the announcement came quite some time after the fight. Like, what went into that process?
Announcement of retirement?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't retire until
a ways after.
the 30th of November.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had surgery on the 10th, and the doctor just
into surgery, real quick. Going into surgery, plan wasn't to retire.
No, not really. No, I mean, I wasn't at all. I mean, I remember doing interviews like, this ain't the end of me.
Yep.
I'm coming back. And then talked to the doctor and just actually what's going on with my shoulder and what the likelihood of it actually healing to its fullest. And the doctor just kind of like a raw conversation with me. He's like, hey man, it's time to make a decision. This is your 3rd shoulder surgery in the last 3 years. You know, his shoulders, a lot of water under the bridge. It's got me like thinking about life and my son and being able to like actually be active with him and swing a golf club with him and just live life outside of fighting. You know, the only fights he can really remember are my last 2 fights. Sandhagen, I blow my knee out. So during fight camp, I'm not daddy. You know what I mean? I am and I'm not, but I'm like in Colorado for half the training camp. I'm traveling, I'm gone. He misses me when I'm gone. I'm gone at my fight. I get back, I'm on one leg, I'm laid up, can't be playing with him the way I'd like to. And then my Aljo fight, right? I'm out in Abu Dhabi for 2 weeks, come back, get shoulder surgery. So he's told me like probably a good 10 times, Dad, I don't want you to fight again.
Nothing worse.
Yeah, like I don't want you to. He twice, and every time he told me, he's like, fuck it, dig deep. And then the doctor's appointment, tell me about my shoulder. I don't know, man. It still is tough.
I can tell you're still struggling with it. How old is your son?
He's 5. Turning 5 in December.
Yeah, and that's when they start to realize, like, oh, Dad's leaving. You know, when they're really little, they really don't know, and they come back, like, there he is. They didn't even know you were gone that long. Yeah, my son, when I'm on tour, like, they'll grab my luggage, like, Daddy, don't go. It's like, oh, you're making it so much worse, dude. I'm only gone 3 days. Like, I can't imagine what you're going through. Yeah, and if you give a shit about being a dad, it's super important, man. Yeah. You know, it really is.
Yeah. We're trying to grow our family, you know, going through, like, fertility stuff as well, too. So it's just like I said, a snowball effect of reasons to I'm being very successful in business outside the cage.
Yeah, well, best to do it outside. Yeah.
So I don't have to fight. I've been saying that before this fight. It's like I didn't take the fight for the paycheck. I took the fight to be back on top and to prove that I'm the best in the world. So I'm successful out of the cage with business. Don't need the money for fighting. You know, I've built a great life for myself and my family, and now it's time to fucking enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, when you retired, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I always like when guys retire. I hate when guys stick around too long, and then, you know, we've seen this story before. So I'd rather a guy retire early and stick around than they end up, you know, face down, ass up. Yeah. So also, you're one of the greatest to ever do it. Bantamweight, you're one of the best to ever do it. You know, first ballot Hall of Famer. So it'd been nice to get the belt. All good, you know, all good. It was a comeback story. You know, you've done some insane stuff, you know, one of the best to ever do it. So, you know, I think your son's proud, your family's proud. So you don't have much to prove. I just know you, and there's this fire inside here, and I don't know what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot going on, but you got to figure out something. And maybe you're doing it. Maybe it's these businesses that you can put your passionate about and the fire into that.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, I'm going to work my ass off, right? No matter what it is. But it's different.
It's different, right?
You know, when you're a world fucking champion in something, and it's just like, you know, in the way that I got it taken from me and just not getting it back, it's going to fucking burn, right? But
the thing that bothers me, too, when you're not your retirement, some of the comments from some of the other fighters who, you know, salty or whatever, I'm just like, still? Like, really? No, he's walking away, man. Like, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I can't retire in peace, dog.
No, it's like, Jesus Christ. What's wrong? I don't get it. Yeah. I figure most people are like, thank you, TJ, one of the best to do it, thank you so much, which the majority were, but then a few of them you're just like, really? Yeah. Still?
Yeah.
You're still bitter?
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be jealous of someone else's success. So.
Correct. Well, they're going to be even more jealous. I always say this. If they thought what you did in the octagon was good, what you have going on outside, like you're just getting started. So the haters need to just sit in tight because you're going to get better.
It's going to get a lot better, for sure.
I'll give you more to hate on.
Yeah, appreciate it.